Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada, now with over 400 locations across Canada.
Talking now on the podcast. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Terry DeMonte. That's Ted Bird. We're talking now on the podcast.
What
am I doing?
I don't know. A couple of times when I've been doing some stand-up comedy shows, the MC will say, okay, how do you want me to introduce you? Well, just say I was in radio in Montreal for a long in the war. I was on Montreal radio for a long time, and I co-host a podcast with Terry DeMonte called Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast. Nobody ever remembers it. And one time, Charles Daglian, who we've actually had as a guest on the podcast, called it the Listening In Podcast. Here he is, the co-host of the Listening In Podcast. Somebody else called it the Standing Up Podcast.
Well, let's just say we're not a household name.
I guess not.
But we're really, really thrilled that you've downloaded the podcast for this Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026. Brought to you by our friends at the UPS Store, the upsstore.ca. They are our title sponsor. And I noticed this past week that they have extended their 30% off ground shipping offer until the end of June.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It was supposed to be to December, but now you can save up to an additional 30% on domestic ground shipping, and they'll tell you how to do it if you go to the website, the upsstore.ca. And when you go to the website, you can find all kinds of things that are helpful if you run a small business. There's a whole section on small business solutions. There is a small business blog where you can get some help. And of course, a store locator, because there are 400 stores across the country. And if you're looking to ship to the United States, that got a little bit more complicated lately. The instructions are all on the website at the upsstore.ca. We're thrilled to have them as a title sponsor. And like I said, if you go online and click on save up to 30% on domestic ground shipping, if you're shipping in Canada, only at the UPS Store. Faster delivery, they can accept larger and heavier packages. There's a pack and ship guarantee and a Saturday ground delivery available. No need to wait until Monday for your package to be delivered. All kinds of help at the UPS stores across the country.
There's a good top-down business culture at the UPS Store that starts with their president and CEO, your friend and mine, David Drucker.
Yeah.
Who has all kinds of personal and professional integrity. And I was thinking about business culture the other day when I went to the Apple store because I was having trouble with my phone. My phone's 3 years old, which is like having a Model T.
I was going to say it may as well be 40 years old in that culture.
With my charger and my battery. And this is the third time I've gone to the UPS store at Fairview for service, and each time I have been treated as if I was the king of the world.
Yeah.
They're really good there.
Really nice.
They're really good. They're professional. And I got the phone cleaned out. He cleaned out the port. There was a bunch of lint and dust and stuff in the port. And that was part of my problem. George cleaned that out for me. What owe you, George? Not a thing.
Yeah. Kind of like the phone's belly button, I guess. Eh?
I guess, yeah. They're all innies.
Got to get the lint out of there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice to hear.
I was really impressed with and like I say, it's not the first time, and every time I've been treated the same, which is to say with impeccable service.
Yeah.
And, Apple's one of the biggest corporations in the world.
Yeah.
Their success and survival does not hinge on whether or not I'm happy.
Right.
But like I say, they treat me like I'm the king of the world.
Going to be a new phone time soon, though, I think.
Yeah,
eh?
it is. Yeah. And it's he told me the new one started about 900.
Yeah. But you can get on a plan, ziggity boo, can't
I
you?
would rather just get it out of the way.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Take the hit and eat craft dinner for a while.
That'll be $1,100.
Yeah.
A couple of things. I got to get this off the desk because the executive producer will not be pleased.
Oh, yeah. I forgot my mug. Did you forget your mug,
too?
No,
my mug is here,
okay.
and we'll talk about that. Listen, am I imagining this? Because I'm a grocery store grumbler now. I walked down the aisles going, Christ, Jesus, look at that. Like,
What are you grumbling at? The prices?
The size of the packages.
Oh, okay.
I was about to buy. I saw a box of Shreddies at the supermarket, and I thought, I haven't had Shreddies in a long time. I think and I picked up the little box, and I thought, you bastards. Like, you don't think
They shrunk the box?
Oh, sure they do. They're shrinking everything. And that's what I was going to ask you. Does it look to you like this? What size would you say that is?
Well, I'd say a medium.
Yeah, okay.
It might be a little. Now that you mention it,
it looks like it shrunk to me.
Yeah,
the Tim Hortons medium coffee doesn't look like a medium coffee to me anymore.
Yeah, and you multiply that by the tens of millions that they sell.
Yeah,
and they're saving money at your expense.
Yeah, they call it shrinkflation. It's just picking your pocket.
Dirty dogs.
So a couple of things. First of all, my mom is going to be 90 this week.
Happy birthday,
happy birthday, Ma. I know she listens to actually, she watches the podcast. She likes to put it on the TV on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
So, hi, Ma. Happy birthday. The big 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's really not in the mood to celebrate, and I understand that. Yep. But I said to her, it's at least we have to mark it.
Sure.
So I'll be visiting her later on this week. The other thing I thought we should mention is the passing of Catherine O'Hara. How sad that was.
Yeah.
Boy, what an impact she made. Did you see social media? I didn't see. Somebody said on Twitter, excuse me, imagine, leaving this earth and not one person has a bad thing to say about you. It was from far and wide, from top to bottom. People had so many nice things to say about her. And Jess and I, after she passed away, just for fun, we decided to put on an episode of Schitt's Creek. She was brilliant in Schitt's Creek. She was brilliant in everything.
Yeah.
And we found a comfort in watching Schitt's Creek again, and we've kind of fallen onto it to sort of rewatch the series. Catherine O'Hara obviously was battling something, and she passed away at what I consider to be a very young age of 71.
Yeah.
This past week.
She should have had at least another 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. Grammys? The Grammys were last Sunday. As we're recording this, 2 nights ago, the Grammys were on. Jesus Christ.
Did you watch?
Oh, God.
You did, eh? You put yourself through that?
Well, Jess and I, there was nothing on. We were having football withdrawal this weekend. Jess and I are massive NFL fans. And there was
it's the off week.
Yeah, it was the off week before
a 2-week window between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. So anyway, so we put the Grammys on. And I was like, I kept saying to her, do you know who this is? Who's this? What is that? Is that considered rap? Why is this person not wearing any clothes? Who is like, why is Justin Bieber in his underwear?
Was Justin Bieber in his underwear?
In his underwear and socks.
I guess that's the style now. Saves time.
I didn't know. I got pants on today.
Yeah.
So, and it was, I saw a tweet that made me laugh. Nothing makes me feel like 500 years old than watching the Grammys.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think it's because you're old man DeMonte, or is it because they're all out of their mind, or is it a combination of the two?
I think it's a combination of the two. While I'm 68, I think I'm culturally plugged in for the most part.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm a big fan of Sabrina Carpenter. I know who Dua Lipa is, or as we call her in our house, Dula Peep. So I'm, somewhat contemporary. I live with a younger person. So, I married a younger woman. Jess is very, very plugged into the culture. But a lot of this went over my head, like really way over my head. And as you pointed out on social media, there was a lot of political grandstanding. And
I didn't watch for that reason.
Yeah. Oh, so you knew it was coming.
Well, sure, yeah. And it'll be coming during the Oscars as well.
For sure.
Yeah, although I might hold my nose and watch the Oscars because I think the Oscars might be less political than the Grammys. But, as I said on Twitter, I gave it a hard pass because I'm not interested in watching celebrities vomit their political opinions.
Right.
But the internet lets me pick and choose
What you see.
in hindsight.
Yeah.
And so what I picked and chose and reposted on Twitter or X was the cover version of War Pigs by Black Sabbath
Was it
as
ever
a
good?
tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. And they knocked it out of the park.
Did they ever?
Post Malone
Yep.
on lead vocals, Slash on guitar, along with another guy whose name I don't remember.
His name is escaping me right now. He's produced all kinds of records, that guy. He's an unbelievably great producer who's had massive success in the studio. And Jess said to me, wow, I didn't know he could play guitar like that.
Duff McKagan, is that his name?
Yep.
The bassist
Yep.
from Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
And Chad, is it Chad Smith, the drummer? Is that his name?
Yeah.
From Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they absolutely knocked it out of the park.
Did
It
they
was
ever?
a great version
Did they
of
ever?
War Pigs.
Yeah.
And brought Ozzy's family to tears.
Yeah. Yeah. Andrew.
Although you couldn't see Sharon crying because her lips were covering her entire face.
Yeah, she's had a lot of work
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that I'm not that wealthy because I would.
Well,
hate
you wouldn't do it, would you?
I don't know. I don't know if I had that much money.
I wouldn't.
don't, how does that affect your mentality, your psychology if you have that much money? Does it affect? I would like to think I could stay grounded enough that I wouldn't go out and get lips that look like two life rafts stuck together.
I think of people like Sam Elliott, who's on Landman.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Elliott is well into his, I don't know how old
He's
he
well
is.
into his 70s.
Well into his 70s for sure. And he has a lived-in face
yeah.
that he owns. And I think, if he looked like George Hamilton, he wouldn't be Sam Elliott.
You're right.
Well, wait a minute. If he was George Hamilton. Anyway, you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Like if,
George Hamilton had a lot of work done.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds had a lot of work done.
Yeah.
Which in retrospect, Burt Reynolds was a handsome guy.
Yes.
Like he was a sex symbol back in the 70s.
Yeah. And I've got a real respect for people who own it.
It's called aging gracefully.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was great. And the guitar player that we're talking about is a guy named Andrew Watt.
Right.
Who's done all kinds of amazing work, and boy, can he play the guitar.
Yeah.
And when he was done, he flung the guitar onto the ground I thought to myself, I guess he's got a lot of money because that guitar is probably cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they used to do that back in the day? Didn't Pete Townsend always wreck his guitar at the end of every Who concert?
Yeah.
Smash it against the
Keith Moon kicked the drum kit to pieces.
Yeah.
All in the ticket price, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, there's our look at the Grammys.
Well, did you watch any other performances that impressed you one way or the made an impression on you one way or the other?
What I was looking for, Chad Dunleavy did a nice piece in the Gazette on a man named Chase Worrell. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Chase is from Brossard. And 2 years ago, he drove down to L.A. to see what he can do. And he was nominated as a co-writer of the best R&B song. He was in that category for a song called Overqualified. He didn't win, but I thought that was a cool thing. If you read the story on the Gazette website, Chad Dunleavy describes his background growing up on the South Shore and how he is now one of the most sought-after writers and producers in that family of R&B and rap folks down in Los Angeles.
Did he win or was he?
No, he was just nominated.
Well,
he didn't win in the category, but I thought it was very cool.
Just getting nominated.
Yeah.
It's a great honor just to be nominated alongside these.
And God damn it, I didn't win. Yeah, it was a really nice piece, seemingly a really nice guy. A nice quote from his father, Colin, in the piece. You'll be able to find that piece in the Gazette by Chad Dunleavy, who's a writer that I've always really liked. That's our look at the Grammys.
Okay.
Now, when was the last time you had a parking ticket?
A week ago Sunday.
Week ago Sunday. Do tell.
On to carry.
Yeah.
$98.
$98.
$98 on a Sunday afternoon. And it's like they were lurking because there was a 10-minute window when I forgot to update on the app.
So you were 10 minutes late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it ran out at 5:15,
Right.
and at 5:25 I went, shit. I got to update my parking.
Yeah.
So I went on the app and I updated the parking, but when I got to the car later on, I had a $98
Oh,
ticket.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Was that 98 all in, or is that 98?
All in.
Oh, cripes, Jesus. Because I was looking at a piece in the Journal last week, and I wanted to mention this. First of all, I got no sympathy for anybody who doesn't pay their parking tickets. You don't pay your parking tickets and you get a boot on your car, all I can say is, ha. I drive by guys with boots on their cars. That's what I do. I go,
The old Denver boot.
yeah. In 2021, the city of Montreal wrote 927,000 parking tickets. In 2023, they wrote 1,034,000 parking tickets. And in 2024, they wrote 1,160,000 parking tickets. In 2020, there were 140 agents on the streets of Montreal. In 2022, there were 241 agents on the streets of Montreal. In 2025, there are 325 agents now writing tickets across the city.
So it's a revenue generator.
Revenues from parking tickets in 2021, $93 million. Last year, $145 million.
Wow.
That's quite an increase.
It sure is.
So the reason I bring it up is don't screw around with the parking meters. Stay on top of it. Make sure they're plugged.
Well, like I say, there was a 10-minute window.
Yes.
Then they jumped on me during that window, and it cost me $98.
Now they have more guys and gals to prowl around making sure that tickets are written.
And I guess because of the technology now, they know exactly. They know the second that a meter runs out,
Yes.
and they can go right straight there
Yeah.
and stick a ticket on that car. And
Yeah.
maybe that's what they did to me.
Because it's all computer now, eh?
Yeah. Did you used to have to pay for parking on Sunday at the meters?
No.
How new is that?
I don't know how many years ago that was, but
Yeah.
I remember, you could park after 6, no charge, and you could park on Sunday, no charge.
Yeah, because
And-
that's what I thought. When I got that ticket last weekend, I thought, "Cripes, it's Sunday, and I have to pay."
I think it was the old mayor. I think I could be wrong, and if I am, I stand down. But I think it was Valerie Plante who made it so that you had to park, or you had to pay to park on Sunday. I think she instituted it. I could be wrong. I stand to be corrected. But there was a time where they thought that would encourage business. And don't know if you've been downtown lately, but there's not a lot of encouraging business going on in the downtown area.
No, eh?
No.
Here's a cautionary tale on the
Okay.
topic of parking.
Yes.
I got, I didn't get a ticket. I was at the doctor's office in Westmount last week and had to update my parking, and it's a different app
It is.
than the City of Montreal app, and I didn't have it on my phone.
It's Passport.
So, well, yes. So I went on the City of Westmount website and followed the prompts to download the app so I could update my parking from the doctor's office. And after I did the download, and in retrospect, stupidly provided my credit card information, no app came up. And so I immediately put a freeze on my credit card. I went to my banking app and froze my credit card because it was fishy.
Yeah.
Something stunk to high heaven. And sure enough, a couple of days later, there were some attempts to make some charges on my credit card.
Right.
And the bank contacted me and said, "We've seen suspicious activity on your credit card. Please call us as soon as possible." So I called Arvan over in Mumbai. And we figured out very quickly that my credit card had been compromised. And he said, "I'm going to cancel that card and we'll mail you a new one and you'll get it in 5 to 7 days."
So what exactly did you do? Did you, because on the phone, there's an app store. Did you go to the app store looking for the Passport
I
app?
clicked on the City of Westmount link
Yeah.
that said download the parking app here.
Yeah.
And then I downloaded the app.
Yeah.
But when I downloaded the app, there must have been some kind of a hack that directed me to another web address where I provided my credit card information.
Oh, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds to me, I don't know anything about it, but it sounds to me like they were intercepting people that were doing what,
Because I started on the City of Westmount website and I downloaded, I clicked download on the Passport app, but that's not where I ended up going.
Right.
And I provided my credit card information, and like I say, when I didn't get an app, when the app didn't download, right away, I went, okay, something's not right here, and I froze my. I went to my bank app and I froze my credit card, and I'm glad I did.
Did you happen to take note of where you were directed? Like, did you look at the website?
Yeah, I think I even took a picture. And it was called What Apps or something like that. It was anyway. It smelled funny.
Yeah. Well. You did the right thing.
You
did the wrong thing, and then you did the right thing.
Yeah, I did the right thing. Right, I corrected it right away before they could exploit.
Yeah, I always go to the App Store. Are we making any sense, Mano? Does this all sound like we're crazy? Okay.
Doesn't sound like two old men going, I don't know, I pushed on the thing, and the next thing you know, I'm out $2,500.
It is. It's a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always very careful about, like, I look at what the website address is. You know, on all the phishing scams, if you look closely, it's, you know, whoop-de-doo at hotmail.lickme. You know, and I think,
Microsoft needs you to update this, and it's from, you know, Zippy Dog Snotface at... I don't think Zippy Dog Snotface works at Microsoft. That's a guess on my part, but...
Hey, it's February, and thought I'd bring you up to date with what the rats did. Those fucking rats. Well, you know, the stupid things they do with the groundhogs.
Oh, the rats. Oh, them.
Yeah. It's just the dumbest thing. It used to drive me nuts every year when I was on the radio, because every morning some people would lead with that as a news story. Yeah. Well, the groundhog is seen as...
like, I think they still do.
Yeah.
I recycle the same joke every Groundhog Day. Bad news. Punxsutawney Phil saw the shadow of a Dodge Durango. There were no survivors.
Punxsutawney Phil says 6 more weeks of winter. Wharton Willie says it's an early spring. He's the Ontario rat. Fred de Marmotte de Gaspé. He said also early spring.
What about Shubenacadie Sam down in Nova Scotia?
Snowed out.
Really?
Yeah. They were too afraid to have the ceremony because of a snowstorm.
Wow.
So it got snowed out. So Sam didn't get his say.
Too bad.
So
years ago, I don't know where I saw or heard it, but somebody said it made me laugh. It still makes me laugh. Wilt Chamberlain saw his shadow, so 6 more weeks of basketball. Wilt Chamberlain would cast a long shadow, eh?
Yeah, he was a tall basketball player.
He was,
in case you're wondering.
I think he was 7'1".
Yeah.
And apparently handy with the ladies.
Yes.
Yeah. And I guess at 7'1", if you do the math, it probably
all corresponding parts.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Carry the 4. That's let's talk about. I wanted to ask you about the. Oh, should we talk about the LinkedIn jobs that I was recommended for?
Yeah, that was very funny.
I hate LinkedIn, probably because I don't work anymore, and I don't give a shit how blessed you are to be working with the greatest boss in the world. It's to me, LinkedIn is kissass.com.
It's a circle jerk.
Yeah. I mean, I know you post the thank you to our sponsors on that website every week. And if I'm looking for work, you know, I guess if you're looking for a job, it's kind of important. So, but what happens is when you don't go on LinkedIn, if you're a member, they never leave you alone. They're like constantly emailing saying, hey, 2 people looked at your profile this week, and here's how you can get more, and sign up for this and sign up for that. It's just endless emails, mostly at night. And every every day or every second day, they email saying, here are the top job picks for you.
Oh, yeah.
So these are jobs that I should apply for immediately.
According to LinkedIn.
Right. This is, according to LinkedIn, this is a match. This is a high match with my skills. Ticket collector at the City of Toronto. So I got to move to Toronto.
Yeah.
And I got to learn how to collect tickets.
What kind of tickets are you collecting?
Didn't click on it, couldn't tell you. Because I had to move on to the next one, which was a remote job that pays up to $20 an hour.
Wow.
If and it's a match with my skills. It's for a Hindi voice actor. So,
Parminder DeMonte.
Yes. Oh, God.
That can be your stage name.
Right. The City of Brampton, I could become a customer service associate. Bell Media wants me to be a video journalist.
I am.
Never in a million years would I go work there. Oh, here's the other one I liked. A Portuguese voice actor. It's freelance. And I could apply right away and work from home.
You could probably get gigs in Portugal and Brazil.
Yes.
Because they speak Portuguese in Brazil.
Yeah, my Portuguese is really good.
Yeah, is it as good as your Hindi, though? That's the question.
Anyway, I thought Ted and I got a kick. I said to Ted, look at these are the jobs I've been recommended, or they've recommended that I apply for this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you don't have to work because those are some pretty slim pickings.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pass the audition for the Hindi voice actor.
No, I think you'd end up in Toronto collecting tickets.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, look forward to that. Hey, let's talk about Sugar Sammy, shall we? Sugar Sammy is he's everywhere, is what he is, and I think you brought a clip.
I did bring a clip,
Okay.
yeah. Sammy, if you didn't see Sammy in his last round of shows in Montreal and Quebec City, you're done till next fall. He's not back in the city until next fall. He's on a 22-city American tour.
Yeah.
But here's a little Sugar Sammy aftertaste for you.
Okay.
Does that sound bad?
Yeah, a little bit.
This is Sammy from one of his Montreal shows on the You're Gonna Rear Deux tour, where he talks about the Quebec accent versus the French accent.
Mm-hmm.
Very relatable and very funny. Hang on till I get my...
And he would know because he's born and raised in Montreal as a Bill 101 kid, and he's a big star in France.
Yeah, he works
so he
on
knows.
France a beaucoup de talent.
Oui.
He's a panelist.
Yeah.
Now, when I say the French accent is romantic, it's the French accent from France, right? Pas l'accent québécois. Ça, c'est un autre massacre complètement. I was in Paris. OK, Paris, c'est en France. And even the way the prostitutes approach you in Paris is beautiful, right? Viens ici, mon petit chéri, que je te fasse des tours de magie. C'est beau. Prostituée québécoise à Rigaud. Approche complètement différente. Hey! Tu veux-tu que je te vide? Je vais te vider!
So that's what you get with Sammy at a Montreal show or a Quebec City show. It'll be a different kind of show on his American tour.
Yeah.
As we've said before, he likes to get the lay of the land in whatever city he's in, and he's really good at that. He's really good at localizing his show. 22 American cities over the next few months, starting with Miami tomorrow night. February 5th.
I hope it stops snowing there by the time he's on stage.
It didn't snow in Miami, did it?
I think it snowed all over Florida.
Really?
Yeah, I think
know
so.
it snowed in the Carolinas. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that in Florida, too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm going to look it up, but I think it snowed almost all over Florida.
Well, you know what? He'll have fun with that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And he'll tie that into his Montreal roots for sure. Yeah. SugarSammy.com to see his schedule if you're going to be in the States, or if you want to buy tickets for for next fall when he's back in Montreal, he's also doing another one of his all-star comedy specials, which is a really cool idea. He MCs a show that features local up-and-coming Montreal comics, which is really nice because he was at one point a local up-and-coming comic who got his break and made the most of it, and he wants to help the next generation along.
That's Sammy all over.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
SugarSammy.com.
It did not snow in Miami, but it
No,
snowed in a lot of places across Florida. But the snow, it got cold. It got cold, but it didn't get. They didn't.
So
get
in
any
northern
snow.
Florida.
Yeah, northern and mid Florida, and my buddy Doug Moore, who listens to the podcast every week, he sent me pictures of the snow in Charlotte.
I was going to say he's in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Right? I saw a picture online.
Yeah.
From the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Of snow on the ground, like palm trees and snow.
Yeah,
yeah.
They got 11 inches. I think he told me on one of the days.
That's Wilt Chamberlain snow.
Yes. And he sent me, apparently the TV stations down there were doing something called a do-it-yourself de-icer. This is how you get rid of what they call snowcrete. Now,
Snowcrete.
yeah, and I guess for places where it doesn't snow, the ice, there's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a not a level, but
A coat?
a coat of ice. You shovel, and then the bottom is
Right.
ice.
Yeah.
And what we do here is we would, in the spring we'd scrape that up. They call it snowcrete, and suggested that you take a half gallon of warm or hot water, 6 drops of dish soap, and a quarter cup of rubbing alcohol, and it apparently will take care of your snowcrete.
Well, you want to get rid of that because if you slip and fall on that, and there are you see a lot of, Terry and I are constantly exchanging video compilations from Instagram of people slipping and falling on their icy stairs, and it's not funny, but it is.
It's really funny. It's really funny. I mean, I guess karma's coming for us.
Yeah.
I guess. But when I lived in Montreal, when I lived in NDG, at least once a year I slipped and fell on the ice.
Yeah.
And it isn't fun.
No.
And the older you get, the more it hurts.
Yeah.
And the harder it is to get up.
Yeah, but there's just something inherently funny about watching somebody fall down.
Yeah, and these are people.
It's slapstick comedy.
People tripping over things,
Yeah.
falling into hedges.
And we all relate because it's happened to all of us.
All of us,
you know?
yeah. But I wonder if because we spend time looking at it, that karma's coming for us.
Maybe. Well, you know what? I fell on my tailbone rollerblading many years ago.
Yeah.
And it's to this day it hurts.
Yeah.
To this day, on a long car trip or a long plane trip or a train trip, I feel it.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget how hard our friend Blair Bartram laughed because he was with me. We were rollerblading on what's the racetrack? Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah.
And I went down and hit my tailbone, and I was going, ah! He laughed so hard. And driving home, I actually had to sit while driving the car so that my tailbone was off
the seat.
Off the seat.
Yeah. That's a bit of a high wire act.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
driving like that.
Boy, did it hurt. But apparently it was funny because Blair sure did laugh.
I wanted to talk and ask you what you thought of this. This past week, I'm getting ready to travel, so I was on the phone with some travel insurance companies. And you can't call any business anymore without hearing the message that says, we're experiencing a higher than normal volume of calls. This has been going on since 2020. And I'm wondering if it's a leftover from COVID because A, there's nothing you can do about it, and B, it's a business model that I can only describe as holding your clients hostage. There's you can leave us a message and we'll call you back, or you can stay on hold and keep your position in the lineup. And this past week, on 2 different occasions, I was told your expected waiting time is 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now,
Who were you calling?
well, it was an insurance company. So how is that a business model? Like, if you opened a store and someone had to stand in line for an hour before you could let them in the store, I would suggest that store would close pretty quick. But there's no alternative. If you need to speak to somebody at the bank, at CAA, at the travel place, at the insurance company, and they tell you have to wait for an hour, what else are you going to do?
I've never experienced that kind of, like when I called the bank back the other day, they were with me right away.
Really?
I might have been on hold for like a minute tops. As I said, when I went to the Apple store the other day, now I make a point of being there when they open.
Yeah.
I did that. I treated that the way I treat Costco.
Right.
I want to be there when the doors open because otherwise I know I might get in the weeds.
Yeah.
But that's unacceptable. That's write a letter to corporate headquarters.
Yeah, and then they laugh at you and throw it in the garbage.
Well, they shouldn't.
Yeah. Do you think that was a COVID thing? Because I
don't know if it's COVID. I remember if it was a COVID thing. I think that was going on before COVID. No,
I just don't remember it being that bad. I remember during COVID, the excuse was, well, we can't find anybody to work, so you'll have to excuse our delays.
Yeah, I think it was always bad, and COVID just gave them an excuse to make it even worse.
It's like
to their benefit.
Like the hotels.
Yeah.
Right? Remember when you used to get a hotel room cleaned every day?
Yeah.
Now all the hotels have managed to lay off a bunch of people and say to you, in order to preserve the environment, we won't clean your room every day unless you ask for. I think most hotels now will clean your room every second day, but you have to make a special request for it.
I don't travel a lot, but anywhere I've stayed in the last little while, the room was done every day.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Sam and I stayed at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square in New York. We were there for 2 nights. And our room was cleaned without us having to ask for service.
Wow.
And when I went and visited him in Toronto and stayed at the Cambridge Inn Suites in downtown
daily
Toronto.
Room? You had daily up?
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah, the maids were there every day, and I don't recall having to ask for it.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, because a lot of hotels have moved to that business model, under the guise of, we don't have to clean.
Well, that's bullshit. Yeah. In order to, facilitate environmental, fuck off.
Yeah, that was a COVID thing, and a lot of hotels have stuck with it.
Yeah, well, anyone who's falling for that gets what they deserve.
Yeah,
I'd be down at the front desk banging on the thing, going, clean my fucking room right now. No, really.
Did you hear Ted got arrested? I don't know. Maybe.
What are you paying for?
Yeah, well, that's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I'm a paying customer.
I don't think it's unreasonable to expect to have my call answered in under an hour.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an unreasonable request. But there's not a lot you can do about it. Anyway. I thought that.
When I become king of the world, I'll address that. Yeah,
Ted and I are going to be kings of the world soon, and we're going to get on that. That and a whole list of other things. We should keep a running list of what we're going to check.
Yeah.
Now I want to tell you about my friends at Accutech. This is a family-run business that's been doing electrical work of the highest order since 1995. Jess was saying to me this past week, you should talk about people rushing to buy houses without inspections. In a hot real estate market like Montreal is, a lot of people are rushing to buy homes and get offers in, and a lot of times people will say, I'll buy your house without an inspection, which for me, I think is madness, but a lot of people think that gives them a leg up.
Wow.
If you've done that and you look inside your fuse box and go, that doesn't look right, you should call the folks at Accutech. And I thought that was a great point that Jess made, because Accutech can do anything involving electrical work at your home, at your business, at your new build. They're ready to work with contractors on new projects. And it's a great story about Tom and his dad, and how his dad started in 1995. And that company that's based on the West Island but will travel anywhere, including up north and all across the greater Montreal area, to look after any electrical issue you may have. I say it often, electrical and electricity, they're not things you think about until you have a problem, until the lights go out, until there's a funny smell coming from the fuse box. And it's at that time you should remember the name Accutech, ACUTECH.ca. Hi.
How are you?
Okay. And I also think we should say hi to our friends at Playground.
I'm going to the Super Bowl party at Playground.
I know you are. I'm
Sunday.
excited for you, and I'm excited to hear all about it. And I want to hear about every plate on the buffet.
Yeah, $60. What do you get for $60 these days?
Not
$60
much.
Basically for the run of the place. That's the good news for me. The bad news is sold out.
Yeah.
So
is it?
if you snoozed,
Yes.
you lost. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can still go to Playground on Sunday and play poker.
Yep.
Or play the gaming machines. They've got 65 poker tables for every level, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate player or a high roller. Playground can accommodate you.
Yes.
Go and spend $50. Buy into a cash game for $50 and eat and drink for free, as long as your $50 lasts you.
Yes.
And if you're not a card player, go to the gaming side. Play the slots. Play electronic blackjack or roulette or baccarat. It is baccarat, by the way.
It is.
Yeah,
eh?
I looked it up. Here,
Yeah.
listen,
Okay.
listen.
Here you go.
Hang on. Let me get this back to the start.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of this French brand and company, manufacturer of fine crystal, located
Or the card
in
game.
France, obviously. So how do you say it? Well, for reference in French, this is said as baccarat, because it is French, the T is silent at the end. Now, in English, this is generally said.
So there
Okay.
you go. It's
Who is this man?
I don't know, but this guy is
Yeah.
the same voice every time you try to. You go online and say,
Yeah.
"How do I pronounce this?" And that brings up a video, and it's that guy.
Yeah.
We are learning
Yeah.
today to pronounce.
Yeah. I don't
this
need the
word.
story, by the way. Just
Anyway, you can go play baccarat. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Playground is a terrific place
Yeah.
for gaming, for poker, for electronic gaming, and for food, which is why Terry's excited to hear about the buffet at the Super Bowl
Well,
party.
first of all, buffets they ran out of they ran out of favor. That's not the expression. What's the expression? They fell out of favor after COVID.
Yeah.
Because of people touching things, and I'm excited because there's such high quality food at Playground. I imagine their buffet is going to be spectacular.
They've got 3 restaurants there. They've got a top-end steakhouse called Etc. ETC period. They've got the Drunken Dragon Japanese restaurant, and they've got the Rail Coal-Fired Bistro. And I think that the buffet is going to have food from all 3 restaurants. So I'm really excited. Apparently, there's a football game as well.
Yeah.
Maybe between stuff in my face,
Yeah.
I'll watch some of that as well. But
Do
it's
you have a buffet strategy?
not really.
Okay.
No,
All right.
no. I'm just going in elbows up.
Great.
Yeah, the Playground overall is just a terrific spot. It's on the 138 in Ganawage. It's the strip without the trip, a Vegas-style casino. Go to playground.ca, get your player's card before you head over, and take the online tour. It's better than you think. It's better than you know. It's better than you can imagine. It's really a first-class spot.
Big time. Yeah. What's the website again?
Playground.ca.
All right, I'd like to talk to you about your expert hockey analysis. I was watching the game with Jess. Which game were we watching? I'm not sure, but I thought, Jesus, Ted's right. These guys are a lot of fun to watch, these Montreal Canadiens. And last week I asked you if they had a goaltending problem. You still think they do?
Well, they did last week, but as of right now, Jakub Dobeš has established himself as the number 1 goaltender. And I think he's played 4 games in a row where he's been really good.
Yeah.
Really good. As a result of which, they came out of their mini slump, and notwithstanding the overtime loss in Minnesota on Monday night, they're back on a roll again. And, even in an overtime loss, you get a point. Minnesota's an elite team. They came back from 2 goals down on the road and forced overtime. And yeah, the Canadiens are a good hockey club.
Yeah.
They're a contender.
You think it's going to be a fun playoff?
Well, I think they're going to go another round further than they did last year.
Right.
Last year they lost in the first round to Washington. I think this year they're going to get to the second round. Like, it's a work in progress. And I think the Canadiens, within 3 years, they're so young.
Yeah.
Like, you give guys like Lane Hudson and Slavkovsky and Demidov and Caulfield. Well, Caulfield and Suzuki are
They're already there.
They're already veterans, but they're veterans who are like 23 and 24 years old. This is a team that within 2 to 3 years is going to be a top-tier contender for the Stanley Cup. Right now, they're a contender.
Yeah.
But it would take they would have to score some big upsets and big surprises in the playoffs in order to go all the way. But the bottom line is they're great fun to watch. And these days in a 32-team league, as a fan, for me, I can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Now, mind you, I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan who grew up in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
So, I've watched them win like 10 Stanley Cups. So for us, guys our age who are Canadiens fans, anything else is a bonus.
I was telling somebody this story a couple of weeks ago. Somebody asked me if I was did I go to the parade in '93, and I said back in '93 we were like, there'll be another one soon. I think I watched that. I think I watched the Stanley Cup final in '93 on the West Island. I think I might have been at Sean's Pub if it was still open back then, or maybe I'm just conflating two stories. And I remember thinking, do I want to drive downtown and go for the celebration? I thought, maybe next year.
also, the fans in '86 and '93 didn't celebrate; they rioted.
Yeah, that's true too.
And I'm hoping that if the Canadiens win another Stanley Cup anytime soon, that will have been a thing of the past. Because I can remember even in into the 2000s, the Canadiens would win a round, and people would it was an excuse, to set police cars on fire, and smash out windows.
Yeah. Do you think, I wouldn't want to be? How do you tinker with the current lineup? With the trade deadline looming and people saying they need to get a little more gritty. But you don't want to screw with the chemistry in the room. Like, it's going to be an interesting 8 weeks for Horton Hears a Who.
Yeah, Horton and Gordon.
Yeah, Horton and Gordon. Good afternoon. It's
Jeff Gordon and Kent Hughes.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, I think. Well, it's tough to be a general manager of any club.
But you know what? They've done so well in getting the Canadiens to where they're at now. I think they're accomplished, smart hockey executives. Yeah. And, they know a lot better than a couple of guys doing a podcast.
It's in good hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they would make a move without bringing Martin St. Louis, the head coach, in on the decision-making process.
How'd you like to be the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs?
No, sir, not a bit.
Oh, yes.
Well, I'd like that salary.
Yeah, but what a mess that is.
Yeah, well, their window has closed.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but there's circus music playing in the background there.
Yeah.
Because it's really a mess, I think.
Yeah, they had a window and didn't take advantage of it. Yeah. And now it's closed. That's a tough city to play hockey.
Yeah, it sure is.
As is Montreal.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the atmosphere in Montreal is less circus-like. I don't know why.
Well, I think it's more in control. And I also think there's a humility about the young players on the Montreal Canadiens. Maybe that's my bias because I'm a Habs fan. That doesn't exist with, say, a guy like Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
He does not strike me as a guy awash in humility.
No, he's got great talent.
Yeah.
And he has scored a lot of goals.
Yeah. He's built
the Toronto
to score.
Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
But he's not the leader that they need.
No, I don't think so either. Anyway, I hate the Leafs, so I'm good with all of that. Let's do the tweet sheet before we forget. I forget about it every week.
All right.
So I'm excited about the tweet sheet.
As am I, as always.
Yes.
Some of the funny...
Sorry
to
interrupt.
Back to you.
We should mention next week on the podcast, Bobby Dollis.
Is that next week? What's today? 4th? No. The week after on the podcast.
Never mind.
February 18th.
Ignore me.
Bobby Dallas, former NHL player, longtime NHL player,
Yes.
16-year veteran from Chateauguay, Quebec. He'll be in to let us know what he thinks about the Montreal Canadiens and the hockey culture in general and how it has changed from generation to generation.
He's been involved at so many levels, professional, college.
For 40 plus years. Yeah.
Really.
Bobby knows the game inside out and is very well spoken.
Yeah, and we pre-taped it for a number of reasons, but also to accommodate Bobby's schedule. And it was a really great conversation. So mark it on your calendar.
February 18th.
February 18th.
That episode will be released.
Thank you, Ted.
Here's the funny from Twitter this past week from @BobGolan. Someday, Canada will rule the world, and we'll all be sorry. That's clever, right?
That is very clever.
Yeah. From @Wikipedia. Across the James Bond films between 1962 and 2021, Bond takes 86 international trips, has 59 sexual liaisons, and washes his hands twice. Because of this, researchers believe he is likely to die of acute diarrhea. And the last one I actually took from Instagram, from @TheOnion. New Sydney Sweeney lingerie line will accommodate sizes humongo through auga. And there's a picture of Sydney Sweeney with her humongo auga. Yeah. I thought that was funny, and I couldn't find it on Twitter, so I pulled it off Instagram.
That's very, very funny.
There you go. Auga.
One thing I wanted to mention this past week, I noticed. Thank you very much for watching us on TikTok. I put our videos on TikTok a couple of months ago, and I said to Ted, "This is stupid because nobody in our audience is watching TikTok, so it's not it's not going to do anything. So, but let's just throw them up there and see what happens." And initially 100 people watched the clip, and then 200 people watched the clip. Anyway, this past week, 40,000 people watched one clip.
Really?
Yes.
Which clip?
It was a clip from last week. I think.
Was it the one of you talking about your dad?
I think so. I think it was one of those clips that got probably widely shared. Oh, I'm exaggerating. 37,000 people.
Still a lot.
Watched the clip. And the clip before that was 5,600. There was a clip of 10,000. And when we first started, when I first put them up in the first week, 111 people watched. So anyway, more people are more people are seeing us on TikTok. I spend time on TikTok. We only post standing by clips on TikTok. You know, Ted and I are not doing skits or funny shit on TikTok. No. It's just for the podcast. But if you listen to the podcast and you've watched clips on TikTok, thanks for that. Because
that's interesting. Yeah. Because I think most of our audience is on Facebook.
Yes.
And Instagram.
Yeah.
And not very many on X.
Yeah.
X is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
It's although that clip that I posted of the Ozzy Osbourne cover at the Grammys, where I said I'm not interested in watching the stars vomit their political opinions, but I did like this.
Yeah, well, you can have yours.
Yeah.
It's so ironic.
Yeah.
The political song.
I got 1.2, as of this morning, I had 1.2 million views on that clip.
Well, it's typical of X if it's somehow political. And first of all, I did not think the tweet was incendiary in any way, shape, or form, but leave it to X's audience to make it incendiary. Yeah. Because you're stupid and you miss the irony and you don't understand it.
And who fucking cares? That was, a lot of the sentiment was, who fucking cares what you think? Yeah. Now, mind you, most of the reaction I got was from people who agreed with me that it was a great performance.
Yeah, it was. But that was the tweet. The tweet was about the tribute to the late Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. And what a good performance it was.
But there was a lot of, nobody fucking cares what you think.
Right.
Although here I am to tell you that I don't care what you think.
Right.
And, it's a political song. And The song came. It was War Pigs. It came out in 1970.
Yeah.
Okay. It was in all the papers.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was interesting that it got. I've never had that many views on a clip. Our podcast account got over 3 million views on a tweet we did one time.
Yeah.
That went viral. From the tweet sheet. But on my own personal account, 1.2 million is by far the most
Yeah,
views
it's stunning, actually.
I've ever received. And my I got 5,000 new followers just from that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow, great.
Just from that.
Fantastic.
Just from that tweet. So from now on, instead of my other tweets getting 4 likes, they'll get 6.
Well, 5,000 new followers, that's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, people that saw the tweet wanted to follow you. They liked the tweet because they agreed with you. It was a hell of a performance. And while we're talking about the Osbournes, I just wanted to mention that Jack Osbourne has a podcast. And I spent one morning driving here a couple of weeks ago listening to Jack, his sister, and his mother talk about the passing of their father. And it's very, very powerful. And it's very raw and it's very authentic. And if you were an Ozzy fan and you're curious about how the family coped with his passing, they talk about his last show. And
he knew he was on the way out, right?
According to the family, he didn't. They had bought a new home in England. They were making plans.
Because I thought the last show was kind of
they knew that was it.
Yeah.
That he was no longer physically capable of doing a tour,
but they
or
didn't
a show.
know that he was on death's doorstep.
No, they had already had plans to do things, to travel. You know, he had convinced himself that it was time to retire because he did that last show from a chair.
Yeah.
And knew that he didn't have the physical capability to tour anymore, so he couldn't do that anymore. But they got ready to spend a lot of time at the new house in England and tour around. Anyway, if you're a fan of podcasts, and I assume you are because you're listening to this one, Jack Osbourne, just put that.
Is it his podcast?
It's his podcast.
Yeah? What's it called?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just type in Jack Osbourne podcast and it'll come up.
Does he have a career or is he just Ozzy's son?
I think he's just Ozzy's son, to be honest. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But you know, those kids aren't good. They'll want for nothing.
No, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But Jack's an intelligent guy, and
he must be
easy to listen to.
Like 40-ish by now?
I think so, yeah. Plus he has some health challenges of his
own.
own.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought he looked good from what I saw at the Grammys.
Yes.
He used to be pretty big. He used to be overweight. He didn't look overweight. I thought he looked pretty good.
Well, both the kids used to be...
Well, the daughter... sorry, I was going to say, the daughter looks like she might be...
she's
a spokesperson for Ozempic.
Yeah, but there are a lot of celebrities now. I don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot of celebrities where I see them and I think, can I buy you a sandwich?
Yeah, Jonah Hill is unrecognizable.
Yeah, like I'm not I'm in no position to be casting stones. I'm not a thin man, but I wouldn't want to be that thin.
No.
It's kind of the thing. Anyway, to take it back, if you're an Ozzy fan and you want to hear the family talk about Ozzy, it's a pretty good podcast.
That sounds good. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah. Okay. Some recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to that last week because we had Judy Martin in, and we enjoyed having Judy in. And Judy Martin does some great work for the Cedars Cancer Center, and was our guest. And I don't know why I thought we were running over time, because there is no time in podcast land.
No,
we do what we want.
No, it's just that we pay Mano for an hour, and then we always make him hang around.
Yeah. Sorry, Mano. These assholes.
Liars.
Speaking of hockey, and I highly recommend Miracle, The Boys of 80 on Netflix. Now, I know you know this story. If you're of a certain age, you remember the Olympics of 1980 where, can you believe it? Can you believe in miracles?
Do you believe in miracles?
Do you believe in miracles?
Al Michaels,
right.
Yeah.
Al Michaels is in this documentary, and a lot of the surviving members of the Olympic team are in it. It's beautifully shot. It's beautiful. It's a story that's beautifully told. I know you know the story. It's like when I heard they were making a movie about Titanic, And I thought to myself, well, that's stupid. We all know it sinks. One of the highest grossing movies of all time. And I know you know the story, or you think you know the story, but this is told from the point of view of the players.
It's a documentary?
Documentary. And if you're a hockey fan, it's an absolute must. Amazing stories, inside stories about Herb Brooks, who was a tough son of a bitch who coached that team. His kids, Herb Brooks' kids, are in it. A lot of the footage was taken from a personal point of view from the families. And it's a great story of some kids from the Midwest and some kids from the Northeast who got together and as a team hated Herb Brooks and beat the Russians when the Russians were unbeatable. It's just terrific.
To win the gold medal at the 1980 Olympics.
Yeah.
In the U.S. at Lake Placid,
in
New
Lake
York.
Placid.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I appreciated about the documentary was how quaint it was. You know, like the Olympics today are big, you know, big snappy, not snappy, snazzy shows with, you know, high security and all of that. And back in the day, in 1980, Plattsburgh was like a little ski town that,
Lake Placid.
Yeah, or Lake Placid, yeah. Anyway, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a hockey fan. It's called Miracle, The Boys of 80. It's on Netflix. Elizabeth Smart. Does that name ring a bell?
It rings a bell, but I don't know who you're talking about.
Elizabeth. I got no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, but I've heard the name.
Yeah. Elizabeth Smart was a 14-year-old that was kidnapped. She was taken from her bedroom in the middle of the night, and she lived to tell the tale. She was recovered, I think, 9 months later, something like that. It's on Netflix. It's called Elizabeth Smart. And if you think you know the story, you don't. And it's stunning. The nut job that kidnapped her, I mean, it's just stunning. Who took her, how he took her.
Again, a documentary?
Again, a documentary. Highly, highly recommend it. Another thing that we watched this week that I want to mention and highlight is something called Disneyland Handcrafted. This is on the Disney Channel, and you don't have to be a Disney fan to watch it and enjoy it. It's a documentary and the story of the building of Disneyland.
Disneyland in Anaheim versus Disney World in Orlando.
They started in 1954 and they opened in 1955. This project,
that's unheard of.
Like when you think of how long it took to build the Turcotte, when you think about that, how long it took to put the REM together. Yeah. They started in 1954 and took them about 10 months. They officially opened a year later, and they weren't completely finished, but they took an empty lot in Anaheim, and everybody told Walt Disney he was nuts. Nobody was going to drive that far to go to an amusement park. Took an empty acreage, I don't know how many acres, and a year later, Disneyland was there. It's really, really stunning to watch. It's on the Disney Channel, and I know not everybody has a Disney Channel, but I recommend it. It's a lot of fun to watch. Here's a wacky one for you. This is on Crave. This is called, get this, Narco Mennonites. It's about Mennonite drug dealers in Leamington, Ontario. And I said to Jess, what? There are narco Mennonites? And they're in Leamington, Ontario? Isn't Leamington where they make the ketchup? Like, what the hell? It's three episodes. And as it's described, Manos put it up on, if you're watching on YouTube, the shocking rise of a Mennonite clan who turned faith, family, and farming roots into one of North America's most elusive drug networks. And that sounds like I'm making that up. I'm not.
I always said you got to watch out for those Mennonites.
By Mennonites. That's a Family Guy gag that we love. Okay, and one more that I want to recommend. If you're a music fan You've got to watch this. It's so good. And if you're a music fan of our vintage, you will recognize these names. Danny Korchmar, Leland Sklar, Russ Kunkel, Waddy Wachtel. Those guys, they played on almost every record from 1970 to, I don't know, the 80s.
I recognize them all from James Taylor records.
They started with James Taylor, Stevie Nicks, Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan. Like, it's...
Yacht rockers.
Yeah, well, their history is unbelievable. There's just... The amount of albums they played on is unbelievable. And here's a list of the people in the documentary. James Taylor, Billy Bob Thornton, Lou Adler, Don Henley, Mike Post, who wrote all the TV themes, Lyle Lovett, Jackson Brown, Phil Collins, David Crosby, Carole King, Stevie Nicks, Linda Ronstadt, Keith Richards, Neil Young. These are all the guys, the artists.
What's it about? What's the...
Well, it's the story of how they came to become studio musicians and the records they played on. And if you bought an album anywhere from 1970 to 1985, you'll love this documentary.
Not household names, but integral musicians of their generation.
Yeah. If you collect albums, if you bought a lot of albums in the 1970s, like Ted says, you recognize those names from James Stewart.
Yeah.
James
Taylor.
Stewart.
Yeah.
James Taylor.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people wouldn't even recognize the names,
Yeah.
but they would certainly recognize the artists they played with and the albums they played on.
Yeah. And James Taylor, they give him credit. James Taylor was one of the first artists to give credit to the guys that played on the record. And that's where I know if you're a classic rock fan, I know you did what Ted and I did in your bedroom with the dinner plate size headphones on,
Reading the album cover.
Yeah, holding the album cover while you listen to it. And I know you've seen those names before. The documentary is called Immediate Family, and it's absolutely terrific. There's Manos put it up on, if you're watching on YouTube, and that's Waddy Wachtel, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he needs a haircut, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to. They're all in their 70s now.
I know, but they need to get a haircut. They really do. Did I ever tell you the James Taylor AA story?
No.
This violates the traditions, and I really shouldn't do it. But it's such a good story.
Yeah.
So James Taylor has been in recovery for decades.
Yeah.
Like, I think he might be like 40 years sober and in recovery from drug addiction. So somebody told me this story. They were at an AA meeting in New York, and James Taylor was there. And after the meeting, a bunch of people went to James Taylor's apartment in Manhattan, and there was some guy who got invited along. I think he was a new guy.
Yeah.
And why don't you come with us? We're going to James's place. We're going to have some coffee. So they go over to James Taylor's place, and James Taylor picks up the guitar and starts to play and sing.
Holy shit.
And the new guy goes, says to James Taylor, "Hey, you're pretty good." You ever think about doing that professionally? Obviously didn't know who he was.
And I'm guessing there were no gold records on the wall or anything.
Well, I don't know. I guess not. Yeah.
Wow.
This just goes to show you. Anonymity.
Yeah. And I'm guessing, my guess is, I've never met James Taylor, but my guess is he's a kind and gentle and decent man.
He probably just went,
I'll give that some thought. By the way, if you're looking for that documentary, you'll find it on Prime. Let's talk about our friends at Merson. I told you last week that I had something hanging down.
They fixed the thing hanging down.
And they got they took care of that. And I was thinking of you yesterday, Ted. There was just a tiny hint of spring in the air. I'm not.
I felt that yesterday.
You
the
felt
sun
it
was
too.
warm. The sun was warm.
Like, I know you think I'm insane because of all the snow and everything, and it's like a minus a gajillion again this week, but I thought there's a small hint of spring.
I felt it. I felt it as well. I was standing in the kitchen doing the dishes, and the sun was coming in through the window, and the sun, it was -7.
Yeah.
But the sun was warm for a change.
So it's starting to feel like it's not going to turn anytime soon. We still have all of February and March and April to get through, but it was a reminder that the spring is going to come soon, and it's a reminder that you probably want to be smart and book an appointment at the Mersons sooner than later. Because what happens with the Mersons, they're so good at what they do, and so many people have been taking their cars there for years, that when it comes time to say, I think I'm going to change my tires, you can't get an appointment for a week. So I don't know. I might be crazy, but, in the next couple of weeks, if you called them and said, I'm going to gamble and say, take my tires off in the first week of April and make an appointment.
In the meantime, if you make an appointment for an oil change between now and the middle of March, you get a free mini inspection with your oil change. And I sent a note to Kara Merson and said, does that only apply to minis, or do other models of car get the free inspection as well? And she said, ha ha, very funny.
Yeah, just a tiny inspection, just a little one.
MersonAuto.com online, they do more than just tires. They do it all. And if there's anything they don't do, they're so well connected within the industry locally that they can send you to someone who will take good care of you.
Great place to get new tires, by the way, too. They've been doing that for a long time. Yeah. Merson, just past the corner of St. Jacques and Cavendish, MersonAuto.com. Now, I'm getting ready to go away, and I feel shame because I still haven't gone in to see Linda and Pierre and Carol and the folks at Robert Richer Jewelers. Do you think they're still talking to me?
Probably, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, they'll save you some chocolates. At Robert Richer Jewelers, by the way, with every purchase of a Valentine's Day gift, you will get a free box of Lindt chocolates. Mm-hmm. Now, I would imagine that some conditions apply.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go in and buy a thumbtack and say, where's my free chocolates? Although I don't think they sell thumbtacks.
Where'd you get your thumbtacks? Those are beautiful. Oh, boy.
February is Suicide Prevention Month, and at Robert Richer Jewelers, they have 3 options of this bracelet that I'm wearing. If you're watching on YouTube, that's a suicide prevention awareness bracelet that has black obsidian and a green malachite stone.
Wow, good for you, Ted.
If I'm not mistaken.
Nicely done.
There are 2 other options as well. They're only $35, and they're beautiful. And $15 from every bracelet sold goes to the Quebec Association for Suicide Prevention. That would be a nice Valentine's Day gift.
I think so.
And they'll give you a free box of Lindt chocolates with that purchase. Or if you want to go higher end, they can accommodate you as well. All the way up to a great big honkin' diamond ring for a special occasion. Pierre has access to the diamond factories in Antwerp. He goes twice a year to the diamond capital of the world, so they are well stocked with the finest stones in all the land. At Robert Richer Jewelers, 309 Dorval Avenue in Dorval, just across from the Land of Oz. Follow the Ellerbrook Road.
We love Robert Richer Jewelers. I say this every week. It's a great shop to visit. Just pop in and see them.
Nice people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go in and look at the big honkin' diamonds. You don't have to buy them.
Yeah.
They're not going to turn their back on you if you're not going to drop thousands upon thousands of dollars. They're happy just to talk to you and show you around.
Or the necklaces, or the earrings, or any of the other nice things they have. Yeah.
Nice selection of watches.
Yeah.
If you have jewelry that needs resetting or a watch that needs any kind of a repair, like a new battery, even, they can take care of you.
Robert Richer Jewelers, proud sponsor of the Standing By podcast, and I got to get in and say hello if they're listening this week. Hi, guys.
I think they listen every week.
I think so, and I feel shame. I will.
Don't feel shame.
Yeah.
I live not far from them, and I haven't been in a while.
Okay.
I don't think they hold it against me.
Okay.
That dirty son of
Those sons of guns. Okay, I guess that would, I'm looking at my sheet, and I think that's a wrap for this week, Mr. Bird. Also, we're keeping Mano overtime again.
As we always do.
We always do.
Poor
Sorry, Mano.
You got to unionize.
Yeah.
The International Brotherhood of Mano Union.
We want to invite you to please visit the website, terryandtedpodcast.com. That's a good place to go. And by the way, thank you so much for the subscribing to the YouTube channel. We're up over 700 subscribers now. I kind of update this every week. And as we always like to say, it's not Joe Rogan numbers, but not bad for our Montreal-focused and Montreal-based podcast. You can go to the website. That's where you can send us email. We haven't read any email in the last couple of weeks. Email's been kind of slow, I must admit. We haven't got a lot of email in the last couple of weeks, but a number of people did write me and express condolences, which I appreciate very much. But if you go to terryandtedpodcast.com, that's a good place to leave us a note. As we say every week, we read each and every one of them. We answer most of them.
I run into more and more people out and about who say they listen to the podcast.
I love that.
I did a comedy show at McDonald High School in St. Anne de Bellevue last weekend, and Scott, Kim, Pat, and Jeff all came over after my set and said, "Hey, we listened to the podcast and we enjoy it."
That's really
on
nice.
The radio.
Yeah, that's really nice. We got a nice letter that I don't have in front of me because I didn't choose any to read this week from a listener, I think named John, who said, we sound like an old comfortable sweater, and reminds him of the days when he lived in Montreal. And we get a number of letters like that from people who don't live in Montreal anymore. But as I've said in previous podcasts, there's the thing about Montreal that, it just never goes away. The Montreal vibe never goes away. And people who live hither and yon look at the Gazette every day, and now they're listening to the Standing By podcast. So we appreciate that. If you subscribe to the Standing By YouTube channel, that helps us a lot. You can also leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, because that helps other people discover the podcast. As John said in his note to me this week, he said, I don't know how it fell in my lap, but the podcast fell in my lap and I really enjoy it. So if you leave a review on Apple or Spotify, apparently that helps. You can follow us, Terry and Ted Podcast, on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, or X if you prefer. And as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, TikTok.
I'm going to have to download the Ticker Talker.
Yeah.
And have a look at that account.
Make sure you don't get hacked again.
Yeah, I know.
We appreciate that. Our thanks to Menno, our in-studio producer. Our thanks to you for downloading the podcast, and our thanks to our executive producer, the lovely and talented Jessica Dion. We will see you next week.
Standing By, the Terry and Ted podcast, is hosted by Terry DeMonte and Ted Bird, and is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada. The executive producer of Standing By is Jessica Dion.